Something that really annoys me, but also kind of makes me laugh about Americans and Westerners is we tend to over exoticize things that are foreign. This is called Orientalism. Now, in most cases, this term is used to refer to Western views of the Middle East, such as magic lamps and flying carpets, but it can also apply to Japan and China as well. And I would also say it applies to other countries that aren't necessarily in the Orient. You know what I mean. It's the theme park version of things. One thing about this phrase, it's often used by liberals to criticize any jokes that poke fun at foreign cultures, any silliness in media, even if it's not malicious. But the real people who are guilty of Orientalism are in fact the left-wingers themselves, particularly those granola goofballs from California. And I know nowadays those people aren't necessarily left or right, but that's how they started. I know that those people in the New Age movement, some of them are on the right now, but that's not what I'm trying to talk about. I'm just trying to criticize the absolute ridiculousness of the New Age movement and how it overly exoticizes things that happen to be foreign, particularly that happen to be Asian in origin. Okay, to the topic at hand. What is Shinrinyoku? Shinrinyoku is a Japanese word that translates to forest bathing. It is essentially the practice of going deep into the forest and lying down and taking all of nature in. It's a very relaxing thing to do, and dare I say even meditative. But when I say it's meditative, I don't mean it's New Age or even religious or mystical in any way. The only people who treat it as such are those granola goofballs from California. One example, when I was watching that TV show, Treehouse Masters, I don't remember his name, but the star of that show said he was doing Shinrin-yoku. He went deep into the forest, and crazy mystical sounding music played, and the camera got weird looking, and it was like it was something, some kind of weird spiritual experience or something, and it was like it was New Age, and it was, oh my goodness. No, that's not what this is. People in the West be like, oh, this is so Zen. You don't even know what Zen means. Zen is a Buddhist term. Zen Buddhism is a sect of Buddhism. It's used in the West to describe anything that's vaguely exotic or Asian or relaxing, but that's not what it means. Okay, away from the humor, I really don't have a problem with people using that colloquially, because even I do. I actually have my own favorite aesthetic called Techno-Zen, which I partially coined, by the way. I just thought Techno-Zen would make more sense to Western ears, but a better word for it is actually a Japanese word, Wamodan, which literally means Japanese modern. Though Techno-Zen is not just Wamodan, it's actually a cross between Wamodan and Fruit de Arrow. Okay, back to the silly video. I mean, it is my opinion, but it's said in a silly way. A lot of these granola goofballs probably assume that Shinrin-yoku originated with Buddhist monks in the, thousands of years ago or whatever. But no, Shinrin-yoku is a term that was coined in the 1980s by the Japanese government to encourage people to go outside, because everybody lives in the city and they wanted people to see nature. I can't even Google Asian musical instruments without being recommended things about transcendental meditation, because those granola goofballs are relentless. But that's only if I Google them in English. If I Google them in Japanese, I just get the instruments themselves, because Western Orientalism is so ridiculous. Now, I know we live in a free country and you can believe whatever you want, but don't do it to the extent that you confuse absolutely everybody about things that are foreign that they know nothing about, therefore leading them to not even want to interact with the East, because they think everyone in the East is a fruitcake just like those granola goofballs. Now, is Japan influenced by Shinto and Buddhism? Do Japanese people commonly do Shinto and Buddhist activities? Yes, but it's not always out of belief. It's usually out of peer pressure and culture. That's why they visit shrines. It's to honor their culture. It's not necessarily because they believe. One time I heard an expression, it goes like this: tradition is just peer pressure from the dead. Those granola goofballs claim to be experts on Eastern mysticism and religion, but really, they just hate Christianity and they're looking for a substitute to be quasi-spiritual. But they do no research on the things they're talking about. These Valley Girl accented ladies quoting the Buddha, but if the Buddha saw their lavish lifestyles, he would blush. So no, Shinrinyoku is not mystical. Is it good for your soul? Most likely, but that doesn't make it mystical. You only think so because we live in a materialistic society that denies that souls even exist.